Alright. Hello. Howdy. What's poppin'? Game. So I know it's been a while since I've created a video. Part of it was because I thought it was just I had nothing to play, nothing to make, and the fact that I only have not even over 200 hours in this game makes it to where I don't feel like this was an enjoyable thing to watch. However, upon further thought processes, uh, that's stupid. If I want to at least get some following in YouTube, I just gotta do it. So, conveniently, the next video I make happens to be right as the new PTB comes out. So this update just kind of dropped out of nowhere, I guess. I mean, it was teased for like a week or so that there'd be a new killer in the line of the Yamaokas. However, a lot of people were speculating that it was Rin's father, or aka the spirit, before she got, sucked up by the entity. But instead, it's an ancestor to the Yamaokas. A samurai ONI, I suppose. And he actually looks really fun. Like, Demogorgon's fun, but this looks mad fun. I don't know if they're gonna, like, hard nerf him, because I feel like he's really strong in some places, or they're just gonna leave him alone. But personally, as long as they don't nerf him to the ground, I think he'll be a really solid and probably one of the better killers in the game. So what better way to get started while I'm downloading the update? Actually, am I even downloading it? I am not downloading it. I have paused it. It's almost done. So hopefully by the time I finish talking about these perks, the game will be done updating. So we're going to start off with the survivor perks. I think all of these have their own good use. I know I said that about the Stranger Things update, and that turned out to not be true. But, I mean, these still seem like they've had a better chance. So we'll start off with Lucky Break, which is, you've had your share of scrapes and bruises, but luck's always on your side. Lucky Break activates anytime you are injured. You won't leave trails of blood for a total of 120 seconds, and I believe it's 180 at Tier 3. Lucky Break is permanently deactivated for the remainder of the trial once the total duration has elapsed. So basically what this perk does is when you're injured, you will not leave trails of blood for a total of 2 minutes to 3 minutes, depending on your tier. And it's only activated when you're injured. So if you heal up quick, the timer will pause, and it won't be an issue. This sounds like a pretty good perk to run with Iron Will for being extra sneaky. However, I don't know how well that's going to work against the new killer, for reasons I'll get to later. But moving on, we'll get to the next perk, which is surely a surprising one. The perk is Any Means Necessary, which says, you stand up for yourself, using whatever's on hand to gain an advantage. Press and hold the active ability button for 3 seconds while standing beside a dropped pallet to reset it to its upright position, and it has a cooldown of 160 seconds, and I believe the Tier 3 is 120 seconds. So basically, if the killer does not break a pallet, you can literally just pick it back up and put it right back. I think people have been asking for this for a while, meme or not, and it's actually quite surprising that they even did it in the first place. Picking up pallets, especially like something really strong like God pallets, is pretty damn powerful. But then again, in the PTB, every killer is probably immediately breaking the pallet just so people can't lift them up. So I feel like killers are going to be breaking pallets constantly in the PTB just because of this perk, but I feel like as time goes on, unless this perk becomes meta somehow, I feel like this perk is just going to not be used a lot. And lastly, we've got Breakout, which says, you kick into high gear when someone's in trouble, inspiring them to overcome any obstacle. When within 6 meters of a carried survivor, you gain the haste status effect, moving at a 5% increased speed, and then it's like 6 and 7. And the carried survivor's wiggle speed is increased by 20%. This perk sounds really good in a Survive with Friends team. If it's like close to endgame, and the gen's almost done, but the person's about to get thrown on the hook, everyone can start taking protection hits, or just hits in general, while the survivor increases their shake-off speed. Now, what I'm not sure about is it stacks, because it doesn't say it doesn't stack, but it just still might not stack. Just because it says it doesn't stack doesn't mean it does stack, because from the sounds of it, if you bring this in a Survive with Friends team, just like body blocking the killer, and then having the survivor get out 60% faster, just seems a bit obnoxious, if you ask me. But if it doesn't stack, it'll still be solid. It'll allow you to try to get protection hits for Metal of Man, which now reminds me, Metal of Man essentially got a buff because apparently protection hits work like they should. So I'm pretty sure if you take a hit near a injured survivor, you'll now get a protection hit instead of like having to be directly in front of them. And even when that happens, sometimes it just doesn't want to work. So perks like Metal of Man and We're Gonna Live Forever will actually work to their full potential instead of just being there. So I think all these perks are going to be useful in some instance. Lucky Break will be good for stealthy builds. Any Means Necessary will be a good situational perk, just in case the killer's in a chase and they don't want to break the pallet. Breakout will be probably good against killers with the Survive the Friends team. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and go over to the killer perks, which, to be quite honest, probably are either meh or pretty good. The first one we got is Nemesis. Nemesis says, you seek retribution on those who have wronged you. A survivor who blinds or stuns you with a pallet or locker becomes your obsession. Anytime a new survivor becomes the obsession, they are affected by the Oblivious status effect for 40 seconds or 60 seconds at tier... Is it 60 seconds? I think it's 60 seconds and 4 seconds at tier 3. And then, only be obsessed with one survivor. So this perk is pretty meh for me. It's just the fact that a survivor can technically play around it. Usually some survivors will try to pallet stun people on purpose, but if you pay attention, at the beginning of the game, the obsession icon will blink, and it'll light up the icon like they were healed. So right off the bat, it's kind of like no mither in the fact that you can immediately tell that they're running Nemesis. So if the survivor is smart enough, unless they actually have to pallet stun them or whatever, I don't see them stunning them or blinding them just to not get Oblivious. But who knows? Again, don't have over 200 hours. It might be a really good perk, or it might just be really bad. Next perk kind of reminds me of the Demogorgon perk Mindbreaker, which says, when hooking a survivor, all other injured survivors suffer from the hemorrhage status effect until healed, and the exhaustion status effect for 45 seconds. I believe it's 60 at tier 3. Now, what Mindbreaker does for Demogorgon says, if if a survivor works on a generator, and it's less than 50% progress, they are exhausted. And if they get off the generator, they're going to be continued to be exhausted for 1 to 3 seconds after that. It sounded good on paper. It sounded like it was just a sprint burst greed play killer. But it's just not. It's just not very good. It's way too situational. However, this perk probably would be pretty nice on anti-healing builds. So, if your whole point, it might actually be pretty good on Plague. Just for the pure fact that if a team is smart and doesn't purify themselves, they're constantly injured. So whenever anyone's hooked, everyone's exhausted for 45 seconds, which can allow her to snowball if she ends up using like an Infectious Fright build or something. But I just feel like on top of this perk is probably only good in a anti-healing build. But it also can just be very good for just greed plays, period. Like, some people might try to suicide, borrow time, dead hard, save the survivor on the hook. But then again, if they're going to go for borrowed time, they're probably going to be healthy. So, I don't know. This perk sounds like it can be good, but it's not a meta perk, one that can be put in every build. And last but not least, we've got Zanshin Tactics. Zanshin Tactics.
Zanshin.
Zanshin Tactics, which says, the aura of all pallets and vault locations are revealed to you within a 24-meter range. Essentially just windows of opportunity for killer. This perk is obviously not going to be very good for people who already know where pallets can be or are, where windows are. But for a newer killer who's not good at predicting where pallets are or windows, this could be pretty useful. And I feel like this is a perk you would probably have to play at tier 3 because the perk becoming inactive for almost a minute for hitting someone just seems a bit bad. But at 20 seconds, I think it's a lot more tolerable. And that's about it for all the perks. And the killer himself is called the ONI, if you weren't reading it. And Yui Kimura. The ONI looks pretty sick, to be honest. And I feel like not only does he look super fun to play, but he also just looks mad good. So how he works is he essentially has a charge ability like Myers, where he injures survivors, and whenever they're injured, they'll leave blood bubbles around in which he can absorb. And when he also hits survivors, he'll fill a bunch of his meter. And once that meter is filled, he'll essentially be able to go sicko mode on the survivors. And he'll gain 2 new abilities. What was it called? Demonic Charge? I'm so good at this. Okay, so his power is called Blood Fury. And Blood Fury is a timed ability that will give him 2 special powers, an ability and an attack. The ability is called Demon Dash, which says if you press and hold the power button while Blood Fury is active, you perform a Demon Dash, which allows him to cover large distance rapidly. Now this is essentially Hillbilly, and what I mean by that is whenever he uses his power, he'll go super high speeds, and he'll be able to catch up to survivors pretty quickly, and on top of that, he can attack out of it and one-shot people. What makes this so good, in my opinion, is the fact that you cannot bump into walls, and this is really nice to control. With Billy, you can only move left and right, and you can bump into things, and then you'll be stunned for a bit. So far, with this killer, not only can you move seemingly pretty smoothly, like it's not like you can do full 180 turns, like pretty quickly. You still have to take a bit of time to turn around. But it's the pure fact that you don't stun by running into something makes this ability pretty godlike when it comes to moving around the map. That and it's scary as shit. Just watch this massive unit just come flying at you at high speeds. And his other ability is Demon Strike, which says when he holds the attack button when Blood Fury is active, he will start to charge up and have an extended lunge range, and any hits he gets will put the healthy survivors into dying state. So essentially, he one-shots people. And he still has an M1, to my knowledge, in the power, but he has 2 abilities that will essentially one-shot him, any survivors. And obviously, it's not permanent. It doesn't have that much of a cooldown. I mean, it doesn't have that much of a time limit on it. And thank God they weren't crazy with the add-ons, because while the ultra rares sound interesting, they don't seem extremely broken. Like, he doesn't have anything like Michael Myers has, where whenever he gets into Blood Fury mode, he'll have it forever. You know, that'd just be ridiculously overpowered. And with that being said, that's probably my opinions on the killer from what I've seen and haven't played yet. Because keep in mind, I have not played the new killer yet. I'm still waiting for my game to download. Which will also remind me, I guess I'll talk about the channel for a bit. I'll probably put this at the end of the video for anyone who cares. But if you're watching this at home, you'll probably just see me in the lobby probably about, right now. But I guess we're going to go ahead and play the first game solo. And just see how he plays with just his base power, essentially, because I don't think Nemesis is going to help me an extreme amount playing the game. Alright, I'm convinced that my lobby was a 3-man glitch because we've had a group of 3 for like 3 minutes, and then they all left, and then another group of 3 came, and then there was more minutes that no one came. So we're just going to play Survivor for now, for the first time. And I'm ranked 13, so I might go against a potato, but let's be honest, the PTB is full of, like, completely varying ranks. It's essentially a deathmatch. But, we're gonna get a game a lot quicker than we're gonna get a killer game. So we got the swamp. Speaking of swamp, around the time that the nurse changes came out, and there was a PTB for that, I recorded some Nurse and Nia gameplay for the series I made 1 episode of. And, hi, how you doing? Yeah, there was a bunch of audio issues with the mic. I tried a different setup. I had my wireless headset and my current headset for my mic because the wireless headset was like a PS4 headset, so the mic was trash. And there was a bunch of me bumping into it throughout the day, and throughout the video, and it was not very good, and it was quite obnoxious, so I never uploaded it. And yeah, I also had a Burger King Myers 2v1 against my friends right around the time the Demogorgon update came out. And yeah, I didn't upload it because it's Burger King Myers, so it was very boring to watch. It got a little more spicy towards the middle part to the end, but the first half was just very boring. Like, I literally couldn't find them because we were playing on Hawkins, and they were trying to play stealthy slash... Okay. Playing stealthy slash trying to get Medal of Man to work, which they never got, and it just ended up turning into a toxic breaking hooks. I'm really good at this game, don't worry. Hello, big boy. I'm just gonna ignore you, and we'll go ahead and get this ace. Let's go in sicko mode. Alright, let's go ahead and do this gen, since this guy's got Prove Thyself. And we're toxic gen rushers.
Stop right there, criminal scum!
Man, gotta say, he's in blood rage mode. Looks very easy to see him. Yep, yes he is. But we're pro immersed gamers. So we're gonna do this, and he'll never find us. And he found the ace. Okay. He'll never find me. Let's go ahead and heal her, just so we don't have to deal with the blood bubbles, even though there's gonna be like 50 right here when we're done. And we'll go ahead and get this gen done. Just go ahead and finish this gen before he charges over here like a madman. Just like he's doing right now. So I'm actually going to walk around and see if there's any pallets dropped that he didn't break. I doubt there is any. But I kind of want to use this perk without just blowing a pallet at power. So I thought. I'm actually going to search for an item, because I believe I have a daily to escape with an item. And gonna be honest, this guy doesn't look too great, unfortunately. So we're gonna go ahead and get an item. We got a toxic toolbox. It's gray though. Hey, an item's an item, and I'm getting fat shamed. So far, this guy isn't doing too great. I don't know if it's just because he's actually really hard to play, or if he's just not the best at playing killer. But either way, it looks like we're gonna get this gen done pretty quickly soon. And yeah, as you can see, that animation down there proves that they've got revenge on. So it's fairly easy to tell when they got revenge. You might have saw me there, but you might have tunnel vision, hook vision. Just gonna chill here for a bit. Alright. I think it's a good time now. Oh, stand still. Ooh, that was not a good path I took. It's all fun now. Watch this. Okay. I'm really good at this game, don't worry. Check this shit out. She's not doing good.
Come here!
Hello. This oblivious stuff is really throwing me off. But I can hear it breathing from... Ace? Ace? Hello? Ace? You cock and balls? Oh, he's losing his power now because he's picking me up. Hopefully I can still get out with this item, because I kind of want blood points. This is not a very good place to be camping out, guys. That Oblivious is actually pretty obnoxious, not gonna lie. And to be quite honest, if it was used on any other killer that's not Oni, because let's be honest, Oni's really loud, and you can easily tell where he's at all times. I feel like that perk would be actually pretty good. And I'm going to assume the door is this way. I wasn't paying attention. And it is. but he's also right there. So I'm actually not gonna risk that. Don't know why this person isn't trying to crawl out. I'm gonna try to see if I can find this other door or the hatch, because as of now it doesn't look like I'm getting out that door. And here it is. See if I can get this door open before he comes over here. Is she gonna kill herself, or is she gonna expect me to get her? But she's so far away, I don't know if I can even get anywhere to her. Alright, I think it's safe to go get her. Alright, I'm gonna get you off this hook, and we need to get the fuck out of here. Alright, well, I'm out of here. Later. I'm actually going to see if I can, I'm gonna use this palette ability so you can see what it looks like before I leave, because there's no way in hell that she's gonna live, and I'm not gonna be able to get her. So let's go ahead and do that, and let's go ahead and do this. And look at that. I can put up a pallet. Crazy, right? Who would have thought? Alright, let's go ahead and get out of here. And I was seeing my own bubbles. I'm not sure if they were actually staying there, though. I think that's just a thing that he has. I don't think it's the ultra rare. Yeah, it's not. He's rank 20. And look at that. 1 perk. And I'm the top on the score. Best gamer. Well, that was an alright game, but I think I'm going to throw these points into ONI here. And we're going to go ahead and play him. And as per usual, I always am at least 1 perk off from level 5. Happens every time. Fun game. Alright, so I think we got the new map. Someone used the Yamaoka offering. I don't actually remember what this map was called. Yep, this is the new map. Alright, so it's got a big fuck off. That's an object of obsession. And a no mither. And a laggy game. And now I'm being Discord called. Motherfucker. There we go. Hold on. Let me answer this call. Hello, gamer. Apparently in the middle of something.
No. Fuck!
Hello, gamer. And I slugged him, I just realized. Alright, whatever. I got a hook. I don't know why this person's trying to play around as such a bad pellet, but he is. Okay. Don't know what these people are doing, and I'm also lagging like a whore. Okay, so no mither guy's over here, blooding up a storm. I don't know why he's running no mither. Oh no, use your balanced. Don't worry, it's nerfed. It's not balanced landing anymore, it's bad landing. Also don't know what this elite Fang gamer's doing. But they're not playing the game, I guess. Alright, so we're gonna try the dash out. And watch this sick play. Oh, I didn't hit left click. Oh, it doesn't, I can't permanently hold it. Okay, good to know. Good to know. I'm just gonna waste the power there because I know there's a shit ton of bubbles over here. Let's go ahead and throw her in the basement. And we're gonna go right over to those bubbles and then probably get our power like instantly. Okay. Sure thing. Not gonna fall for the DS though. Just gonna find the rescuer. Alright, and there we go. Easy game, easy life. Don't know what the hell they were doing. They were doing something. But gonna be honest, the sprinting looks a lot more difficult than I thought it'd be. Then again, when has it ever been easy? Eloise. Do you still have DS? Nope. Up you go. Well, that wasn't bad for, you know, the first time playing him. I mean, then again, they were fucking around, I guess. But, yeah. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Alright, so, the channel. I've decided that no matter what I feel, I am going to try to do YouTube for probably until my next birthday, which is June. And I will make sure I make these videos, because like I said before, I genuinely think I can do good on YouTube. Whether that would be a good idea to even do YouTube with all this stuff coming up is beyond me. But, you know, I still want to do something I like, and if it succeeds, awesome. If it doesn't really take off, well, at least I tried, and actually tried. I feel like to give an honest attempt at YouTube, you got to be doing it for at least a while, and have your content be enjoyable. If I just throw out YouTube videos every day without, you know, careful planning or thought process, I'm probably not gonna get anywhere. And I have way more plans for this channel than Dead by Daylight, because while completely honestly, I really enjoy Dead by Daylight, I don't think it's a game I'm going to be playing at all times 24/7, because, quite frankly, I feel like I'm interested in other games instead. And that's not to say that Dead by Daylight is not interesting to me. I still, like I said, I really enjoy this game. But it's just the fact that I am still technically a noob, I guess you could say. Despite me knowing a decent amount of the game, I'm still not the greatest at chases or mind gaming or whatnot. And on top of that, I just personally feel like my channel is not going to be Dead by Daylight focused. Now, is it going to be something I do frequently? Probably. But is it going to be the only thing I plan on doing? No. In fact, early next year, I plan on getting a capture card and starting to play console games, because I, quite frankly, really like Nintendo games. Most of them. Like, I would have really liked to record Luigi's Mansion. I would have liked to record Pokemon. And there are future games that I really want to play. For example, Animal Crossing New Horizons will probably be something I do. I want to play the Final Fantasy VII Remake whenever that comes out. When that comes out in March 3rd, I believe. And I also want to play the new Doom, because I really enjoyed Doom 2016. And, yeah, I guess that's about it. I just wanted to give a quick update. I don't want to constantly say, yeah, it could have been what it could have been, but I didn't do anything with it, and not actually having anything happen. You know what I mean? Anyways, that's probably all I got to say for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll hopefully see you again next week, and hopefully I will see you soon, and not until the next Dead by Daylight PTB. Or maybe I'll keep it as a meme for now. But not really.